So I have set up the greenbacks in a very standard formation, similar to the ones I used to play last year. We have the greenbacks with pocket passer, dodge, QB read and spin. And then we have monsters with block party and blitz are the only relevant skills on defense. Now, I mentioned on my video about blitzing that any team can create an effective blitz. And similarly, any team can create an effective zonal defense. Now, you're probably looking at this and saying, but you already told us that block party and blitz are two of the best skills on blitzing. And they are. But it's always worth looking at who you're up against, what the score is, where you're on the pitch, how much time is left on the clock, and all sorts of factors like that, and then making a decision on whether you blitz or whether you zonal defense. If we look at greenbacks, who are our opponent in this instance, we can see they have pocket passer, dodge, and QB read. Now, pocket passer is one which you tend to want to blitz against. And the reason being is you don't want that guy to be getting away a clean throw. And then QB read is one that you want to tend to play zonal defense against. Greenbacks are the only team in the league that have both skills, which is why it's a little bit of an interesting one for me to show you. It's also the team I played last year, and I kind of wish I was playing them under McFadden 21 because well, pocket passers got better and spinners got better. So greenbacks are actually now probably a top tier team. I don't think they're maybe as good as the Anks or the Tridents, but they're definitely a very, very good option. So I've set the greenbacks up. We will set the monsters up against them. I am going to set up in what's going to look initially like a fairly similar to formation to the one I showed you the other day when I did blitzing. However, I'm going to explain what people's roles are in this formation, and then we are going to play it out. So this guy can go, let's go on that side, and then we'll put the 55 here. And then when I set up to do the blitz video, I set these guys up like this. Now, it's similar in this instance, similar in as much as we're happy relatively if we concede maybe 10 to 15 yards on a zonal defense. We're unlikely to be making massive gains, but we're happy if we concede 10 to 15 yards. So sometimes I might even step these guys all back one square. So there'd be something like that. But you know what, just for the sake of showing that you can start from the same formation, I'm gonna start like this. So when we are blitzing, we are aiming to get people onto the quarterback, and we're aiming to basically kick his head in. However, when we are doing zonal defense, what we're aiming to do is make sure we've always got these guys covered. So the wide receivers are where you want to really be focusing, but you also want to be focusing on the guys who are going to be potential tight ends. You want to make sure you don't let a lineman come through, because believe it or not, they can actually be very effective receivers. So we are going to do something a little bit similar to what I showed you the other day. So the other day I said, Spivey says in his rule book, always fully commit to blitz or fully commit to the zonal defense. And I mostly agree. The one thing I would say is when blitzing, you're never going to do an 8-man rush. So you probably want to commit maybe 5 guys to the blitz, or maybe 3 guys to the blitz, a couple to staying on the line, and you do want to still have 3 guys in your backfield. When you're doing zonal defense, it kind of flips on its head. You want to make sure you've got about 5 guys in your backfield. These guys on the corners here and here are going to, this guy and this guy, they are going to still do a sort of little bit of a blitz. It's not going to aim to sack the quarterback, but it is going to aim, to put some pressure on him. So what I'll be looking to do is, I would say that doesn't happen on Tabletop Simulator, but it does. What we're aiming to do is move this guy around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on another activation it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can you can definitely still get to put pressure on the QB even when you're doing a zonal defense. And the other advantage to activating these guys is that I can always do read and react to these guys in the backfield. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up how I would if I was calling this play. We are going to use 48 first, I think, for the monsters. Then we're going to go with 49. Then we are going to go with 48 again. Then let's go with 33, who's our bully. And then let's go with 55. Actually, no, let's go with 69, because I'd be a bit worried about only leaving one guy out there who's... But no, look, let's do what I was saying originally and go with 49. And then we are sticking with going with the guys that are low numbers on the line, and we will read and react if we need anything else. So that is our play call for the monsters. Let's do the same again for the Green Bay Packers. They're going to want to try and get some guys down these sides, and then they're going to want to try and get them free and throw to them. So we are definitely going to be moving number 75. We are definitely going to be moving 66. And then we're going to be looking for some bonus activations. So definitely looking at 39, because I want to try and get him out from here, or at least make sure he doesn't stop this guy getting in. I then want to be looking at 52, and we'll double stack 52's cards so that he can get out and hopefully provide another late option. Now, some of the other things I need to tell you about doing a zonal defense. So I've told you the importance of read and react. I also need to tell you that it's important when you use your adjustment marker. If the defense uses its adjustment marker before the offense uses it, then the offense can use that adjustment marker to get two guys free simultaneously, which is an absolute headache, and then the defense has absolutely nothing it can do about it. So if you are zonally defending, never ever use your adjustment marker before the offense. So anyway, we'll assume no motion and we'll flip the first cards. So we've got 75 and 48. So 75 is just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So with this 48, I need to explain the reason I'm moving him. It's not just a case of getting to this guy. It's also a case of denying this guy his +2 here. I mean, at the moment, if he were to move in there and boost with an extra card, he'd be at +3, which is a nice way of generating bonus activations. So this guy's going to just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's done. Next cards. We've got 49 and we've got 66. So in this instance, 66 is going to go first, and it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and can't move any further. And then 49 is going to mirror what's happening on that side, and it's just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 39 and 48. And yeah, this is a bit of a problem for Green Bay. Of course, the ball is here. This is a bit of a problem for Green Bay because we've got 48 is going to be coming into contact over there. So there's a couple of options you can do if you're the Monsters coach in this instance. You can force Green Bay to go first. Forcing Green Bay to go first does mean that they won't be able to get the juicy block. They would probably have to move to there to stop the Monsters guy from coming in and hitting the QB. The other alternative, if you're the Monsters coach, is to just go first, take the pressure, and then know that he's going to hit you. And I think that's what we'll do. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is 2 random cards from the Green Bay Packers play deck. So we'll give these a quick shuffle. In fact, we'll just pull out that one and that one. And I don't know what I've hit, but let's have a quick look. 46 and 75. Ouch. So then the Green Bay Packers are going to just step to here for 2 and roll some dice. I got these Green Bay Packer dice, ordered them on the internet. So that is 6, which is only a partial success. Now, it's partial success in this instance. If I push him to there and move up, then for the free half move, he's just going to move back into contact, which means it's going to be pressure again. So Green Bay aren't going to do that. They're just going to push him to here. Next cards. 52 and 33. Okay, so we've got 33 is over here and 52 is that guy. So 52 can probably see what's going on there and is getting a bit worried about it, but there isn't a huge amount he can do, and getting an extra open receiver is definitely a good threat. So I think Green Bay are going to make the Packers. Oh, sorry, you're going to make the Monsters go first. So Monsters are going to go 1, 2, and block there for +3. And that is a full success. So over here, then Monsters are going to. Tell you what, now let's just carry on with the idea of doing zonal defense. We've still got an open receiver here who's only got one guy on him. So we'll go 1, 2, and we will block him at +3. And that is a partial success, so knock him over. As much as I said, you don't go for as many blocks when doing zonal, it's still always worth knocking a player over when it's possible to do so. However, that does give a half move to the Packers, who are going to do what I said about getting this guy open. So that's another new headache for the Monsters to think about. So next cards. Oh, Monsters never did their 52. So with 52, they might move this guy. And let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then flip them over. Last cards, we've got 49 and 52. So Monsters could read and react. If Monsters read and react, they can cover these guys who are open receivers. If Monsters don't read and react, then chances are that Green Bay are going to QB read and throw to one of these guys. However, if they do take the throw, it will only be at +2, and we've still got no, we don't have the other 48 because we've used both of him. So it would be at +2 to get to one of these two guys. I think, therefore, Monsters are going to read and react, and they're going to have to read and react to someone higher than the 6, because if they read and react to a 6, then there's still the chance that Green Bay may well go to Dodgers and try the throw. So Monsters are going to have to read and react, and they're going to read and react to the 7. So no read and react from Green Bay. Then it will be Green Bay to go first. In fact, no, actually, having had Green Bay not do the read and react, Monsters will go first. Oh, sorry, Monsters will make Green Bay go first. So Green Bay are just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Monsters can go 1, 2, 3, 4. And this guy can... In fact, what would be interesting is this guy goes 1, 2. And that has used the adjustment, which has kind of broken my own rule about saying don't ever use your adjustment before the offense if you're doing zonal. So now we are on to playing cards from hand. It would be quite interesting for Monsters to go to their number 61. When that came in, that was precious, so we'll just take 2 more cards off the Green Bay deck. And let's see what we've got. 51 and 39. Probably would have gone to 39. So Monsters are going to go with 61, and Green Bay are now have less choice, and it's probably going to be 47, looking to create a nice bonus activation there for the throw. The one thing Green Bay do feel is, or should feel at this point, is they should feel quite safe knowing that they've got 2 guys on here, so it's going to be at most a -2 to the throw, but then of course +3 because of pocket passer. So now we've got 61 and 47. I think Monsters would make Green Bay go first. So we'll step to there and we'll go for a block at +3. And that is a partial success. So move him to there and follow it up in fact, no, don't follow up, because then you can leave him open. So it's worth looking at this guy. Now, I know we said we were going to do zonal defense, but we've got one rogue receiver here knocked over. We've got this guy being marked, and he's used both his cards. We've got this guy being marked by two guys. We should know that he's still got one card somewhere in the deck, unless we've been lucky and pulled it. But look at this 61. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can't quite get there, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He can just get to the QB. So if I use the half move to go 1, 2, 3, and then use the follow-up activation to use the card to go 1, 2, where was I? It was here. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That has then got him into contact, which means it's another 2 cards gone from the Green Bay Packers bench. Okay, don't know what we got that time. That's bad news. We just got Dodgers, and we got the only other open receiver. So it's starting to look pretty bad for Green Bay. We've got one receiver knocked over. We've got one guy here who, of course, monsters don't know this, but he's used both his cards. We've got this guy over here. So if I was the monsters coach now, I'd be going to 33 over here, looking for some bonus activations. The other thing is, under the McFadden rules, at this point, the Green Bay Packers coach could just choose to call it. So let's go with 6. And we'll flip them over. So we've got 33 and 6. So in a last ditch attempt, he could throw the ball to 47. It would be an evens throw, because he's at +3, but then of course he's at -3. Or alternatively, he could just call the play dead. But we'll take the throw. Of course, monsters do have the choice of whether or not they'd like to read and react. And I think, yeah, why not? Let's do a read and react. Let's go to 69. So let's throw that one away, and let's go to 69. So it's a roll off. We'll use blue for the monsters, and we'll use the Green Bay Packers dice for the Green Bay Packers. And that's a monsters roll. So this guy is going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've now got him covered as well, which means I think actually the best option for our Dodgers would probably be the direct throw to number 66. At which point, monsters could look to see whether they've got... Oh, of course they don't, we've played both of them, and even so it's at -3. So Green Bay Packers rolling for evens, and they get 11, which is very lucky. So this guy then goes 3, 6. So now we're on to the next cards. So by this point, oops, put them in the wrong pile. So by this point, these guys are running out of options, but they do still have their 6. So we're going to use him. And then monsters, I think, are definitely going to be going to their 7. They need someone fast right now, and they need to win the initiative. So we'll flip those over, and monsters have won that roll. So 2, 4, 6, 7. So he can't quite get there. In fact, is it worth him letting the other guy go first? No. 2, 4, 6, and then 7, because it would be the second diagonal to move again. So this guy is going to go... He could do this active spin, which is a new move. However, I really wouldn't recommend it here. You'd be going backwards, back towards your own line. So I think he's probably going to go 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll take those cards and put them back over here. And now we've got to pick out 2 more cards. So by this point, what do we have left? 69 would probably be a reasonable choice. 61 is the guy who's over there. He's not so great. So yeah, it'll be 61 we'll go to. So 69, not 61. 69 is there. And then Green Bay are kind of looking for bonus activation, so they're going to go with 46. So this 69 is going to go 2, 4, 5 to there. And then, oops, let's flip those over. So he's done. And then 46 is over here, and he's up against 51. So he's got a +2, and that's only a partial, which does mean that the monsters get a free half move, and it's going to be with this guy. 1, 2, 3. And so Green Bay have only got one card left, and monsters will be choosing the 51. So it would be a roll off in that instance. So we'll go back to these 2 dice, and monsters win the roll off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's now a third guy in contact. Now, he doesn't have diving tackle or blitz, so he can't do anything more than that. But we are now with 51. 51's in desperate situation, so he's just going to move in and try and evens block on 49. And that's a partial success. So it pushes him back, but that's going to end the play because a half move, and then of course Green Bay are out of cards, and there are 3 guys in contact. And by the new rules, that does end the play. So that'll be a gain of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to 35 yards. It's not quite the sort of gain of 10 or gain of 20 that I was aiming for, but nonetheless, against a very good passing offense, I think most teams would be quite happy with knowing that they'd stopped the Green Bay Packers for merely a gain of 35 yards, especially under the new McFadden rules, which are horrible to play against for pocket passer and QB read on the same guy, which, as I say, Dodgers has got. So that was a gain of 35 yards. Now, some of the specific skills that are useful when doing a zonal defense. Obviously, zone defender. Zone defender is most often on a 7, but there are a couple of teams that are a little bit weird, like jack-o'-lanterns. But having a zone defender on a 7 does mean you can cover a larger area and threaten that whole area for a pass, which I think is very, very effective. Then by the way, in the Legacy League, there's also something called Audible Zone, which I really, really like, which basically means before the snap, instead of doing a motion, you can throw 2 cards away to give any of your players to give any of your players zone defender. So if I was doing Legacy League, giving this one simple guy the interceptor skill, and then using an audible to give him zone defender as well, turns him into a very, very nasty player to play against when trying to do a thrown play. That's the exact same setup that zone defender and interceptor is the exact same setup that tyrants have, and the exact same setup that ninjas have. And both teams, if I'm being perfectly honest, are rubbish. The reason they're rubbish is because most teams will just come up against them and just use a running play instead. However, in Legacy, it kind of changes things a little bit, because in Legacy, obviously, with it being audible zone, you'd be giving it out as an extra skill, so you'd be turning them into a 5-skill team. You can also make teams so that they have 2 separate lineups for offense and defense, which does mean that you can make a team that have all defensive skills, and you can focus like 3 of your skills on stopping a run, and then you can put that extra skill interceptor on this guy and turn him into an absolute monster. No pun intended with us actually playing monsters at the minute. Zone defender and interceptor, 2 skills that are useful. The other one which is useful is man defender. Man defender is has been changed to McFadden, and it's been changed to a rule that I actually originally suggested, so kind of that's cool, which is that whenever a player leaves a square, Whenever a player takes a move and they started the square adjacent to your man defender, then you can follow it up with a half move, which is quite cool because it means he actually marks him rather than just threatening the throw, which nobody's ever going to take because it's at -3. So instead, he's actually going to be marking him, which I think is more thematic and more effective, and it's more tactical. And those are the three things we really want. In terms of how to use Man Defender, if someone has a shake guy, you set the Man Defender up directly opposite him and move him into contact as soon as, as your first move. And suddenly, as soon as he does anything, he's going to be following him and keeping him pretty much pinned down and locked in for the rest of the game, or for the rest of that play. Similarly, you can do the same if someone's got run block, or you could do the same if someone's got juke, or you could do the same if someone's got active spin. But yeah, I think it's most effective against shake because shake synergizes so well with the pass. Other skills that are useful, lockdown. Lockdown isn't on that many teams. I know it's on the Bulls, number 7, and it's also definitely on the Ninjas 5. I can't think if there's any other teams that have got it, but I could always check my rulebook, which is over there. Lockdown is good, but I don't think it's amazing. It basically means that any player will have to spend an extra 1 cube when moving next to your lockdown player. I think it would be quite cool in Legacy to create a player that's got Man Defender and lockdown, because then he's really, really cool. The one thing I don't like about having lockdown and blitz on the Ninjas guy is that lockdown, you kind of wanted to get him stuck in and tight to the most difficult players so that they can't move. Whereas blitz, you kind of want him to be free so that he can operate and hit whoever he likes. So I don't particularly like having both skills on the same player. One of the reasons why I don't really rate the Ninjas. The other skill I wanted to talk about, which is really, really useful on zonal defense, is blitz. And that's probably going to sound a bit daft that I'm saying it is such a good skill on zonal defense. But if we set up and imagine that these monsters players are the Anks, and I will show you how I would attack the same sort of situation if I had Anks. So we will set up exactly as we were before. I've kind of accidentally reversed it, but same sort of setup. We've got 3 and 5 at the tight ends. We've got 7 on one one flank. We've got the 66 on the other. So if I was setting up with Anks, what I might consider doing is putting my 3 on the line, which now when I was blitzing, there is no way I would do that. That would be a horrifically bad idea. Then I will put my 4s, as I did before, and assign them pretty much the same job I did before. I'm still going to have my 6s nice and wide. I'm going to have my 7 and 5. In fact, I might even swap those round. In fact, let's do the 6 there, 5 there, so we've got 5 against 6. We're going to put the 7s just here, a 7 and the 6 just here. And then the 55 is going to go in the middle there. Now, his job here is going to be to, twofold really. First of all, he's going to be aiming to stop any kind of throw underneath. Secondly, he is able to be really effective at stopping the run play and stopping any runners who might be going along over here. The reason being is that if we do have someone who comes over to there, this guy, having blitz, he can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and block, which is an absolute nightmare for any defense. So putting him centrally, just a couple of steps back, means that you're protecting yourself a little bit against the run game, but you're also, if one of these guys, one of these cornerbackers, does find themselves in trouble, he can always just go and give them a helping hand. And yeah, that's another option. So you saw a gain of 35 for the Green Bay Packers. Hopefully, you're limiting them to less than that. I think the best zonal defender in the league is Lars. And if you want to learn more about zonal defense, definitely offer him a game. Yeah, thanks for watching.